So what was your confusion actually? Just I want to understand that first. So
Confusion is that means whatever I means saw that one side will be that one side of the in cross interference connection.
mhm.
There will be one side will be means color coding will be gray, orange, orange, white, gray. Sorry.
Yeah, so let's watch it in the Google. Okay, that is cross cable and straight cable. Let's look at the images. So that's how the connection it is normally, right? Or you can say like this. This is the crossover connection. That
Yes.
the first one is like this green and white. It is going to the third of that another computer, and like
Yes.
this green on going to the sixth one. So that's how the connection is. But don't think that you have to make this cross connections, right? Normally you get the cable and it's mentioned over there that is a cross cable or the straight through cable. But you should know that how it is happening. That's the important part.
So normally we don't have to means use that cross over connections.
Uh, yes, normally normal cables are no currently what is happening in our this network interface card what is available in our computer, that is so smart that it automatically detects that what is the other end device, and based on that one from interface card these signals are being switched. Means that suppose this is our white color, and this should will come some in other one based on the straight or let me go to the comparison of this straight and pick this one. Yeah, it's like that. So I think the first one is straight. Both are cross, I think. So that's how actually the thing is that main thing is that between the difference between the cross and straight is just shuffling of the cables, nothing else. Is that clear or not?
Yes, sir.
So that shuffling of the cables mean going from up and down, that is being done automatically from the network interface card. You don't have to use different type of cable. Suppose you bought a straight cable for from your market and you are using, but your requirement is to use the crossover cable. So obviously means you have bought the wrong cable, so you cannot use that one. So for that purpose they have made our computer or network devices so smart, they automatically switch the signal, and the requirement of the switching the another cable is now rule over. You don't have to buy the other cable. From just one cable your requirement to fulfill, either it is being straight or cross.
So our router also have that network interface card.
Yes, obviously without network interface card nothing is possible, and the MAC address is on the network interface card. So every communication is happening via MAC address. Without MAC address there is no communication. Am I now clear, or still you
Uh,
have some doubts?
no, sir, no doubt in that topic. But
Okay.
still, I have doubt on another topic that IP address and submitting.
Yeah, what is the problem in the subnetting? Just
Yes, sir. Problem is that, sir,
Mhm.
means when I means wish to do myself that some IP I have I means I imagine some IP
Yeah,
and
tell me your imagination. I just want to tell me. I will write it here.
that's 10.173 88 dot 88.90 something like that.
Okay, then
Then I wish to means submitting all the things where it is and where to means how many connections but means whatever you have taught us.
Mhm.
I want to do this operation on that IP, so I unable to do that.
Okay. The first thing that first what you have to do, you have to identify your requirement, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
want to do subnetting of this one, right? You want
Yes,
to
sir.
do subnetting, but the first question is that why you need subnetting, correct?
Yes, sir.
So subnetting will be required for your computers because you will be having some network in your area. And in that network, you will be requirement of the sum of the IP addresses. So for that purpose, you are doing the subnetting,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
So suppose this is a one network, this is second network, and this, suppose this is a third network. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Yes,
this is
sir.
third network. So let's suppose you need three networks, right?
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
you need three networks, so if you want to do the subnetting, subnet this IP address in the three networks, is it possible to do it?
Three networks. No, sir.
We have the options like this: two, we can divide in either in two, we can divide either in four, we can divide it in the 8, 16,
Hmm.
like that one, right?
Yes, sir.
So now your requirement is to divide it into three parts. So for that, what we will do, we will choose four subnets. Okay, we will divide into the four parts. We will use
Hmm.
three of them and we will leave one of them. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So means availability is for the four, and you can utilize three of them, and that one will be just keeping it free. That is not being used. But if you divide only in the two parts, then your one of the network will not get an IP address from that network. So obviously
Yes,
you
sir.
have to divide it into four parts.
Four
Correct?
parts. Yes, sir.
So now next thing is coming, that this 10.173.88.90, right? So first thing
Hmm.
that you got it from the which one, which class IP address it is?
It is, sir, class A, sir.
Yeah, right. This is a class A IP address. So normally what we are doing, whenever we are doing using in our local area network, we are using the class C private IP address. So they are starting from like this 192.168, uh, something like that one. So suppose let's take 1.2, correct? And whenever we are having the class C IP address, the subnet is now 24, correct?
Yes, sir.
Class in case
Just
of class C IP address.
in this private IP address, we can means we can put anywhere in the computer
Yeah,
for
in our
person.
private network, yeah, in local area network.
Yes, sir.
So now you are having this pool, or in fact, you can say that you are having this 1.0 network. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so whenever it means that once 1.0 network means that you are getting how many IP address on this one? The total 256, and two one first and last is being utilized, gone for the network and network address and broadcast address. You are having 254 usable IP address on this network. This 192.168.1.0 network. Correct? Is that clear?
Sir, please repeat, sir.
Whenever we choose network 192.168.1.0, so in that
Hmm.
network, we are having how many IP address? 192.168.1.0 slash
Zero.
24, right? So if we
Yes, sir.
try to assign the IP, the what will be the first IP? That will be 192. So okay, 8 is missing here. 168 1.1, that will be first IP. What will be the next IP? 192, 168, 1.2, next IP, 1.3, then 1.4. It goes up to how much?
254.
255. Correct. So
Yes.
when we go from 0 to 255, we got 256 IP address. 256.
Six.
In that 256, the first IP address and the last IP address is used. First is used for the network.
Network.
That is this IP address. This will be used for the network IP, and the last IP address 1.255, that will be used for the broadcast IP address.
Yes, sir.
So usable IP address you are having 254, correct?
254. Yes, sir.
But what you have to do, you have to divide this network. This is a network. Whenever we say, let me clear it. Whenever we say like this, 192.168, 1.0 slash 24, we refer this as a subnetwork, or we can say the network, one network. Why we are saying that network? Because we are focusing only first three octets. And this 1.0 means now these bits can vary from 0 to 255. So on this network 192.168.1, we are having 256 IPs,
Six IP address.
and that will start from 192.168.1.0 1.0
1.0
to 192.168 1.255.
255.
Whenever we say that another network, suppose we talking about the 192.168.2.0 network. Now this 2.0 network, it means that the IP address range we are having 192.168.2.0 to 192.168.2.255. Correct? Here also you are having a 256 IP address, but here the network is 2.0 network, 192.168.2.0 network. So in this network we are having 255 address, and in this 1.0 network we are also having the 255 address. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So now what in the previous question what we have got, we have to divide this network, this one, in the 4 parts, right? That's what our requirement. So now let's try to divide it into the 4 parts. So in order to divide it into the 4 parts, we have to borrow some of the host bits to the network bits. Correct? So as right now we are seeing that 24 here. 24 means 24 network bits. But now we have to divide it into the 4 parts. So in order to do that, we will borrow 2 more bits to the network parts. Means that network will be 192.168.1.0/26.
From where, sir, we have borrowed 2 bits?
We are having the octets, right? The first octet, and the I can say like this one. These are the 8 bits in the first octet. Second octet, we are having the 8 bits. Third octet, we are having the 8 bits, and we are having the last octet in the. So this is the first octet. This is the second octet of the IP address. This is the third octet of the IP address, and this is the fourth octet of the IP address. In case of the class C IP address, the first 3 octet belongs to the network part. So this network part is having 24 bits, right?
Yes, sir.
Because 8 bit here, 8 here, 8 here. So that is total 24 bits are the network bits in the class C IP address. So that is the standard, right? This is also called as the classful IP addressing scheme. Classful IP address. Now what we are going to, we are going beyond the classful. So that is called the classless. In case of classless, what we are doing, we are taking 2 more bits from here. This was the host part, correct?
Yes, sir.
Remaining host. So I have taken, it should be like this 1 1 1 1 or 0 0 something, Z0 1 0 something, it should be there. 8 bits will be there, something, either it will be 0 or 1. So what we are doing now, we are considering these 2 bits as the network bits now. So earlier it was written as /24 here, right? Because
Yes,
there were 24 bits, but now in order to divide it into the 4 parts, we have considered the 2 bits of the host as a network bits. So that's why we are writing as a /26.
Sir, but means my question is why we should borrow these 2 bits from that host part?
Why we should borrow? Okay, so
Sorry, sir, if I done any mistake.
no, not a problem. What is happening actually? If you go to this part, 192.168.1.0. Okay, so this is our first network.
Yes, sir.
If you want to go for the next network, then it will be like 192.168 2.0 network, right?
Yes, sir.
Second network. Third network is I'm talking about the class full, okay? 192.168 3.0. So that's how it will going. It is changing up to 192.168 and 255.0. So till now we got how many networks? This is our first network. This is 255 network. So whenever we just changed all bits, right? Means we are changing this bit, this octet. Okay. When we are
Yes.
changing this octet, then total networks how many we got? 255. So if
255.
we start from 0, then we got 256.
256.
We got 256 networks. How we are doing? Because we are starting from all the bits of the third octet. That is was the first bit will be in the first network. All bits will be 0 like
Hmm.
this. And for the second one, it will be like this 0 0 second network, or in fact we should say the first network. This is zeroth, we can say this first network, and the bits will be 0 0 0 1. And now we can say that 1 0. That's how the bits are changing, right?
Hmm.
So now once we have this 255, our network is full. Now we don't have the further networks, correct?
Hmm.
What happened actually? You went to any networking body, and they have given you any submit, because this is private address. But just for example, I'm saying that suppose any organization or some or your administrator has given you only one network.
Hmm.
What they have done? They have given only this network 1.0. Okay,
1.0.
so now you cannot change this part.
Hmm.
This is fixed one.
Yes, sir.
But still, if you want to divide into the further networks, what else you can do? Because there's a one way that you can change this one to these bits, third octet bits, right?
Hmm.
And you can get the another network by changing the third octet bits. But once your first three octets got fixed, you don't have
Hmm.
any flexibility to divide further. So if you want to divide it further in the four parts, what else you can do? You have to be reliable on the next part, this one.
Hmm.
So that's why we are borrowing bits from the host to network. We are considering some of the bits to the host to network.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to, if I take only one bit, because in the
Hmm.
last octet, if in the last octet I'm having, let's uh, take the fixed one for the first three octets, 168, 1, and remaining bits, if I get 0 0 0 and 0 0 0 0. Okay, I think these are 8. Yeah. So now these are the fixed. We cannot play with this one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you consider only the first bit as a network bit,
Hmm.
correct? So what
Hmm.
options you can be? It can be 192, 168, 1 dot. First network will be either this will be 0, right?
Hmm.
So it will be dot 0 network, correct?
Hmm.
What else it can be? Either it can be 1, correct? So in that
Yes, sir.
case, it will be like 192, 168
168. 1
dot
.1.
1 dot, and now first bit is 1 and remaining all 0.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's fine. If
And in the previous case, first one is 0, remaining one is 1.
yeah, the first bit is 0, remaining all 0. Remaining all 0 is also right now all 0 right now as well, but the first bit has been changed to 1.
1.
Means you have flex changing, you can change now because you have considered this as a network bit, right? The first bit
Yes.
is now network. You can play with the first bit.
Hmm.
So you can put it either 0 or 1.
Hmm.
So the next, if you convert this number as a decimal number in
Hmm.
this binary, then you get how much?
255.
255. You sure?
No, no, sir. 220.
4, 8,
2,
64, 128. So you will be getting as
128.
128 because remaining all are 0. You are getting
0.
as 192, 168, 1 dot 128.
128.
So the first network you got 192, 168, 1 dot 0. The next network you got 192, 168, 1 dot 128. So now if in this network the IP range will be 192, means first IP will be start from 0 and the last IP will be 192, 168, 1 dot 127,
127.
right? Because in order to get this 127, you can put all these bits changing one by one. The for the first IP, this bit will be 1, and for the next one, all this 0, this will be 1 0, then this will be 1 1, that will be 1 0 0. So that's how the IP address will be changing. But the first bit, this will be fixed, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's how the IP range is changing. And now for the next one, so here now 1 is fixed, and now you have to play with the remaining 7 bits. So now the range will be from starting from 128 to 192, 168, 1.255. So in this example, we have divided our network. Which network? 192.168 1.0 network into the two parts. We have just divided into the two parts.
Two parts.
Correct. Now, if you want to divide into the four parts, right? So in order to
Yes, sir.
divide into the four parts, what you have to do? You have to borrow one more bit from the host part.
Yes, sir.
So now you are having the two bits as a network part. So when you are having two bits, the options can be 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, 1 1. You get the four parts now,
Yes, sir.
right? So now you understand why we are borrowing bits from the host to network.
Yes, sir. I got it.
Okay, that's great. So that's how we can now we can divide it into the four parts as well, and you get the IP range as well. I think now your doubts are clear, or any else doubt you are having.
No, sir. So that, sir,
Mhm.
so from this, sir, I got an idea, sir, that we can divide our network into 2 to the power 8 parts.
Yes, but if you consider, all
Yes, sir.
8 bits as a network, then all will be network, right? Suppose you borrowed all 8 bits on this side,
Yes, sir.
then
Yes, sir.
all will be network. There will be no host bit. Then what do you will get not get any host IP? What you will assign to computer? You will not, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but if you, still, if you suppose you borrowed the 7 bits,
Hmm.
then how many bits are remaining as a host? Only one bit.
One, only one.
So their
Yes, sir.
options are 0 and 1.
0 and 1.
So means the usable, you get the two IP addresses, and those two IP addresses are also assigned for the broadcast and network. How many usable you got? Nothing,
Usable as nothing.
nothing,
0.
right? So
Yes, sir.
minimum you what you have to do? You have to leave 2 bits for the host
Yes, sir.
part. Then you get the minimum two usable IP address.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else is having doubt on this one? Nobody? Okay, that's great. So any other doubt from anyone else based on the recorded sessions you have gone through? Let me check. Were there Joseph? Any doubts? Poster, Javed, any doubts from your sides? I guess nothing. That's fine. So let me just show you the configuration of the switch, basic configuration. What I have just recorded yesterday actually, but still I just want to show you because once you see in the real life, then you get more doubts. But I still recommend to watch the previous session. That is for the basic switch configuration that you have just bought a new switch. So what are the basic requirements you do in the switch? So let's take a new switch. Okay. Where are my switch? Okay. And whenever you click on this CLI, so that is the console output, you see it here. So now you see that this our switch is booting up now. And once you press enter, you see that our switch configuration, and this is called as the user execution mode whenever you are seeing the greater than symbol. Okay. So in order to go to the privilege mode, we can just put it at enable. It will give you a hash, and that is your user privilege mode. Okay. And if you want to go to the configuration, so there's two options. Either you can put the full form, like full command configuration configure terminal, or you can give the short form as this config t. So I try to use this config t terminal. Now if you want to change this host name of this switch, then you can use the command at as host name. And if I want this SW1 and press enter, you see that this host name is being changed to SW1. You can put anything, but normally it is, based on your requirement, that wherever it is located or situated, based on that one, you can use your uh, switch host name. Next thing is your banner. So there is a whenever we try to log on the switch, then there is a one welcome message. So that is we can also set. And for that one, we use this command banner. You can put the question mark. It will show you the this message of the day, MOTD. And after that one, you can set any delimiting character. Delimiting characters means that from where you want to start your message. So let me take any symbol. Let me take as a ampersand. Okay, let me take ampersand. So it means that my message will start with ampersand, and that will also close after ampersand. Okay, so once I give press enter, it gives you the message as enter text message, and that ends with the character ampersand. So I can write a good message here, like this is star, welcome to switch 1. This is a very good switch, don't mess up with it. Although it is recommended not to use a very large message, because this is uh, being saved in your memory of the switch. The larger the message, the more memory used in the switch. So now if I want to close the message, we can use the same symbol where we have started, right? So we started with this ampersand symbol. We will use same symbol here. Ampersand means now if I press enter, my message will be closed, and that will be my message as a welcome message. I press enter, I'm back again to the configuration mode. And now if I want to check my welcome message, so let me exit it here, right? So this is my switch. If I press enter, then first I will see my welcome message. You see here, welcome to switch 1. This is very good switch, and don't mess up with it. So this is a welcome message. Normally whenever someone, new guy tries to log on, you can set some welcome message so that they will be aware of that one. Next thing you can do, you can set console password for this one, because console cable is like whenever you are going to location of the switch, you are connecting cable in the switch, and then you are trying to accessing the switch. So in that case, anyone else, you are the authorized person, but any unknown person also can go to the switch, and they can log on to the switch, and they can make any configuration, and they can shut it down your switch, and your whole traffic is being disturbed. So for that purpose, we set console password that any unauthorized person cannot access the switch. So for that, we access the or we set the console password. So let's go to configure terminal, and for that one, we just use the command line, and let's let me put the question mark. So in the question mark, we are having the three options. the first line number, console, and VTY. So console is just only single line because we have just a single cable, and we use this VTY virtual for the telnet session or SSH. Okay, so normally we use for this telnet VTY. So if I am setting this console, I can use console, and we are having only single line for console, so we can use console 0 because one single line. And by chance in Cisco, it everything start with 0, so they take 0 as a 1. So that's why we are taking as line console 0. Press enter. Now it is going to this config line mode. We can set the password here. Let me put Cisco 123. Press enter. So now our password is set. Okay. And also we have to give the keyword as login. It means that we have set the password Cisco 123, but it is not applied yet. Means you have set the password, but whenever you try to log on via console, it will not ask you the password if you have not given this login. Okay, let me not give this login first, and let me show you. I have set the password, but still, if I try to log on via console, exit it once again. Okay, and if I, yeah, you see that I have gone to the welcome message, but still it has not asked me the welcome message. Sorry, this console password. So in that case, we have to give the command login. So once we give the command login, it means that whatever the password we have set, that you have to apply on the console cable. So let me try to do that one. Let me first enable config terminal, and then we can go to again line console 0. And now just we have to give the command as login. Means whatever the password we have set in the previous one, now that will be applicable and it will be asked whenever someone tries to log in. So now let's check once again. Exit or end. So exit once again. You see that now whenever I'm trying to accessing it, now it is asking me the password. So I will put it the same password what we have set, Cisco 123. And now we are logged in. Now if I try to enable it, I can enable it without password, but you can set the password for the enable as well. And the very easy command for that one, you just have to go configure terminal and put as the enable password, and let me put the same password Cisco 123 for the enable. Okay, so in the configuration mode, you just put enable password Cisco 123. So now if I want to enable the switch, then it will ask me the password. So this is the console password Cisco 123. Now we are in the user execution mode. Okay, and now if I try to enable it, it will ask me the password. Correct. So let me put Cisco 123. Clear? That's good. Next thing is our telnet. Before telnet, let me show you the management IP. Okay, so we are having the different interfaces. If I go to this switch, we are having this many of the interfaces. Interfaces means the switch port we are having. So this is 24 port switch. So starting from this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24. And then there is, we are having 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, 0, 1, 0, 2. And after that, at the extreme bottom, we are having one interface like VLAN 1. So although VLAN 1 is very uh, vast topic, so we will just covering in the coming sessions. But we can set an IP address to this VLAN interface. Why we set this IP address? Because right now, if you want to make any configuration changes on the switch, you have to visit switch location physically, you connect via console cable, and then you can make the required changes. But if you want to access this switch remotely, so you have to give an IP address to this switch. This is called a management IP. Normally switch is our layer 2 device. It does not play with the IP addresses, but for the management we have to define it an IP address so that we can identify that which switch you want to log in. So for that purpose we use this VLAN interface. We will go to this switch and then assign an IP address to this VLAN interface. So in order to check interface, you can use this command show IP interface brief. Okay, and the short form of this one is sh, like this, show IP interface brief. If you see, you can see the all the ports, their status is down right now. Okay, protocol is down. Protocol down means there is no cable is connected. Means there is two things. That's admin status, means that you have manually put it down or not. If you have forcefully put it down, it will shown here up and down. And if other end is connected via computer, because if you remember that if you have traveled to the switch or any location, you might have seen that even then you have not uh, giving any traffic and you are just connecting cable to your computer, you are just seeing light blinking on your LAN ports. So that is actually protocols, that whenever you connect a cable, that shows you, okay, this line is up. So that is showing you this protocol up. And but we have to play with the VLAN on right now. So we have to go this VLAN interface. So before that, we go to the configuration mode, configure terminal. Now we can go to the interface VLAN 1. So we have entered to the interface mode now. And to give the IP address, we have to use this command IP address. And let me take this IP address 192.168.1.1. And then let's give the subnet mask. Anyone knows that what will be subnet mask of this IP address? Anyone? Nobody? Anyone knows what will be subnet mask? I'm waiting you guys for a response. Nobody?
No idea, sir.
No idea. Man, whenever we are having the IP address starting from 192, then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, right?
Means a class A IP address. That's why,
Now this is a class C IP address.
class C IP
Yeah, so
address.
that's why we are having this 255.255.255.0.
Sir, but one question is, sir.
Mhm,
Sir, why, sir, int VLAN 1?
mhm.
Why not VLAN 2, VLAN 3, VLAN 4 others? Why one, sir?
Because right now we are having only one interface right here, VLAN 1, right?
Means, sir, it means already the switch will have that VLAN portion.
Yes, this is the default VLAN, and every switch is having, especially Cisco switch is having this default VLAN as VLAN 1. But in the coming classes, I will show you that you can configure the different VLANs, more than one. In that case, you can use the more interfaces as well. Suppose you have configured the second VLAN, VLAN 2, so you can use interface VLAN 2 as well, not a problem. But right now we don't have this 2 VLAN, so we'll use only VLAN 1. Okay. So our interface IP address is set. If you want to verify, you can use same commands, ship interface brief. Okay, show IP interface brief. So now you see that this IP address is being set to this VLAN 1. Okay, and we see that the interface is administratively down, means we have not put the interface up right now. So let me go to the interface once again and we'll put it up. Interface VLAN 1, and let's make it as no shut. No shut means our interface will come up. So it's giving you message interface VLAN 1 change the status state to up, right? So that is up, and we can check it via show IP interface brief. You see that this is being up. Now let me connect a computer here. Okay, and let's connect via cable. and just configure an IP address to our computer. Okay, so we go to the desktop, go to this IP configuration, and give the IP address to the computer to the same network 168. We have given IP address to the switch as 1.1, and computer I'm giving as 1.2, right? So 1.2, and let me close this one. And now if I try to ping it from the computer, which IP address? 192.168.1.1. Then it is reachable from here. Now if you want to access the switch from this place, so in that case you have to telnet the IP address, but before that one we have to enable the telnet on the switch. Okay, so how we enable the telnet? The same process, we can use the line question mark. We are having this vty command for the telnet session, so we will use the command vty, and let's use, we are having the 16 lines for the telnet sessions, means 16 person can access the switch simultaneously. Okay, so for that one we are having lines from 0 to 15, total 16, starting from 0 to 15.
Sir, please, sir, line VTY means, sir, what, sir?
Line VTY is virtual terminal. This means how many virtual terminal can access the switch. So this is a command to enable the telnet session from the switch. You know telnet?
Telnet, yes, sir. Telnet means from where we can access that switch
Exactly.
to
So
command prompt.
right. So right now, if you go to the computer and if you were try to access the telnet, if you telnet the switch, our IP address 192.168.1.1, it is telling that the connection is closed by the foreign host. Means the switch is not allowing any telnet address to the switch because we have not enabled the telnet on the switch. So we are trying to enable this telnet on the switch.
Yes, sir.
And why this 0 to 15? 0 to 15 means because if one of the computer, because right now I have connected only one computer, so that will use the line 0. Line 0 means like a wire. Suppose this is a one wire connected, it means that this is line 0. If you connect one more computer here, like this one, so this will be line 1. Okay, if you connect one more computer here, like this one, that will be line 2. So that is means the line. So in that switch, you only 16% can access the same time. They can access more, but at the same time, only 16% can access the switch. So that's how we are enabling from 0 to 15.
So why 16 and not more than 16?
That is the
So we have
Cisco.
24 ports.
Yes, but the Cisco has allowed only 16. might they might be having some problem. So they
Sir,
have
but
given only. Mhm.
still the people are not facing any problem because only 16 is allowed. Only 16% can access the
Only
switch.
16 at the same time. You remember, only 16 at the same time. In
Yes,
respective
sir.
of time, they can unlimited number of person can access the switch.
In the certain time means they are sharing the time to everybody.
Right, suppose there is a switch located anywhere. Right now, I have access the switch. The same time, you are also accessing the switch. But normally, people, no, normal people doesn't allow. They allow only 1 or 2 sessions. Still, Cisco has given 16. Why? Because suppose you are making some changes on the switch, right? Because you have access to switch, same time I have also access the switch, and I am also making some configuration on that one. You made some port up, I made the same port down.
Hmm.
So that is a very wrong thing, right? You are doing
Yes, sir.
some another thing,
Right.
I am doing some other thing, so that's not good thing. So it's
Yes,
still
sir.
this 16 concurrently is still very high. Normal, in normal switch I think only 4 are allowed, or because when we configure only 0 to 4 or 0 to 3. So in the practical scenarios, in the practical company, only 4% can access any switch, not 16.
Yes.
But it's still Cisco has given too many to 16.
Yes.
So
Yes.
these are the lines which we access at the same time.
Yes, sir.
If later on, then anyone can access, unlimited number of persons can access the switch. So I have taken, I think, all 0 to 15. Yes. And let me set the password for that. To enable this one, we just have to set the password. That's it. So let me set the password as Cisco, not Cisco. Let me put the CCNA123 this time. CCNA123. So once we set the password, the access is enabled. So just only we have to set the password. That's it. So now if I try to access it, it will ask me the password. I will press a password as CCNA123. And now I am logged into the switch via computer. This is our PC0, right? And from PC0, I can access the switch. If I want to change, make any changes from here, I can change it. Config, okay. Control Shift 6. Enable first, and then enable password was, I think, Cisco123. And you see that the same configuration what we have enabled on this securities things, enable password, the same will be applied anywhere when you are trying to access it. And now if you want to change the ports, you can change it. So you can see the ports, show IP interface brief. We do show IP interface brief. Whenever you are not in the privilege mode, you are in the configuration mode, you have to use this command do. Then only it runs. Okay. And now you see it here, 192.168.1.1. If you want to give some another IP to this, if you want to give another IP, then it will reset the connection. I don't want to do that one. Let me do something else. Let me change the host name. That will be quite easy. So let me change the host name as MySwitch. So now the host name has been changed to MySwitch, and the same thing you can see here. Now it says that name has been changed to MySwitch. Clear? Any doubt till now? No doubt.
Everything is clear.
Okay, that's great, Joseph. So that's okay for it, and we will continue more configuration of switch like VLAN configuration, VTP modes, or the spanning tree protections, because we are having the problem of the loops as well. If you have gone to the recorded videos, we have discussed about the loops as well. So we will try to configure that spanning tree protections and all, how the things are happening over there. So I think 5 or 6 sessions will be switch only. So we will be at a good level on the switch. Okay.
So can you have a script on that configuration of switch?
Script, yes, we can prepare. A script is like setting a notepad command, right? And you just collect all those. Script means you're asking about whatever configuration I have made, or
Yes, sir. Whatever script we need to means while we configure a switch, while we need to configure a freshly switch, something we need to type there, no? So that is script, sir.
no, that is basically the requirement of the customer wherever you are working over there. So there you provide, but these are the basic things you configure whenever you start the new switch. So first job is to set the enable password, console password, enable the telnet password, enable SSH. Okay, you change the host name. These are the basic things you do whenever you get a new switch. So these are just basic configuration whenever you get the new switch. That's it, I think. And more, and yes, you is on the management IP as well, because you are going to at a physical location, so you don't want to go at the site once again. So you give, and this IP address, you define the routing as well. Right now I have not defined any routing, right? Because from the switch there will be some router connected, and there are one more complex network. From that you will be having this connectivity to this switch. So that's a complex job, but we are starting from the very basic so that you can understand.
So somewhere we need to write int VLAN 1, VLAN 2, like that one, where we configure a freshly switch. So
Mhm.
where we should write that thing.
You can configure it here, right? Configure terminal, and you can give see the VLAN 20. Okay, so now you can get the name as VLAN, or you can say the management type, management VLAN, management, only management. Okay, so now you have created, by this command you have created a VLAN 20, and the name of that VLAN is name management. So now you have to give the port number, that on which port you have given this VLAN. So if you want to check this VLAN you have created, you have command dash show VLAN. So you see that you have just created this VLAN 20.
So, but what is the use of that? I don't know, sir.
Yeah, that we will discuss in the coming sessions. These are just basics. I will just because the VLAN is a little complex topic, so we will discuss more and more on that. Okay, not to worry. Okay, guys, that's it for the day, and we will see you next Saturday with all the doubts, and keep listening this recorded sessions, because there's more details over there, because here we are having only 1 hour, and that's also gone for the discussion, so we do not focus on the concept too much, and on the recorded sessions I just give a specific time on that one. Okay, so you will get more knowledge on that one. Try to do, and let's meet on the next Saturday with all the doubts. Okay.
Sir, please give us some assignment also so that we can try at home, sir.
Yes, you can. First you have to download the packet tracer. You download it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can try these commands. So, and the one more thing, that you have to use your notebook. Whatever I'm commands I'm telling you, you can note it them down. That using which command, these commands, what we are doing. Okay, so just practice. Not because I'm not teaching too much time, because we're not taking the regular 1 hour session. We are teaching slowly, so it comes. Okay, it will come. So that's the main thing you have to do, the practice. Whatever commands I have told you, if you run by yourself, then you get confident. If you don't do you by yourself, then you just listen it and you forget it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that will be your homework to or assignment, that whatever I have configuration I have made it, or I have done in the recorded sessions, you can watch them, and then you can practice by yourself, because whenever you do by yourself and you run the command, then that's give you the confidence. By watching it, you just listen it, you forget it, you don't get anything actually. Okay, guys, try to do. See you on the next Saturday.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, bye.